Okay, gaming news for the week of what, January 19th. You probably like, well, what happened last week? It got so late that I was like, oh, maybe I'll try to do one on Wednesday. Anyway, last week is a wash, but that's okay. Ain't a whole lot happened. But this week, Ubisoft. Yo, is this our 5th weekly gaming news? And I'm not sure, but I feel like Ubisoft is on the streak. They make the news every week, and it's never good. It is never good. I think the last episode of the gaming news for the week, bruh, I think we announced that Ubisoft had a Prince of Persia Sands of Time like remake coming out. Not now. Here we go. Ubisoft canceled 6 projects, including Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake, closes 2 studios, and confirms further layoffs and major company restructure. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not saying necessarily in terms of games. There's been a lot of great games this generation. We are now 5 years in, not quite 6 because we got the consoles at the end of the year, but we're getting close to the 5.5-year mark. And I just think the industry has been an absolute disaster. I know layoffs are a part of all industries, but this shit is outrageous. Mergers, cancellations, outrageous business practices. The industry is just ass as a unit. This is the worst for me, in my opinion, that I've ever seen. It's not even close. Plus, some of the shit they try to push is not working for me. And they canceled 6 games and they delayed 7 games. Here's the official quote here: cancellation of 6 games, including its Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake, and a delayed a further 7 titles. 2 Ubisoft studios will be closed completely as a result of changes, which others are subject to further layoffs. 3 of the canceled games were new IPs, while 1 was a mobile game. So here's the thing. I also announced on one of these episodes, and you know, I always put the links in the description for y'all to go read yourselves. But I had announced at one point, I think they had 10 Assassin's Creed games in development or something like that. I don't care how good you think a product is or how good a product is. When you have 10 of them being worked on at one time, that's not a good thing. I don't care what anybody says. I've really been clamoring to try to get more brand new games because I do go out and buy these games, obviously. And a lot of people complain, oh, we keep getting the same games, we keep getting remakes, we keep getting reboots, and we keep getting sequels. But when we have enough new games, or there's not enough people going out to buy them. So they've canceled 3 games that were new IPs, which is a surprise because I didn't even know they were working on 3 new games. They also have one of the games, I don't have this in front of me. Sorry, for like, it's like one of those rare occasions. I read something that said the Beyond Good and Evil remake survived the cuts. I feel like they announced that remake like 5-6 years ago. I don't know. I would love if the industry started only showing us games that were going to be out within 2 years, but I digress. Anyway, Ubisoft Stockholm is fully closed. Yeah, Ubisoft, it's just never like good news with them. It's like it's 1 week something's coming out, the next week it's canceled. And I really want to take the time to say, and I've said it before, like, Ubisoft, I really need them to go back to what made them really good. And I think what happens is when you try to, when the money comes before the art, then you don't always get the best results. And I think in the long term, it affects your business. I can't prove what I'm saying. I just feel that way because of how the industry's gone. I feel like the industry's lost a little bit of its soul over the last over the last generation and a half, in an efforts to maximize profits at the expense of doing what they do best. Ubisoft has some of the best games for a long time. They have IPs that are just sitting there that I didn't even know from games they didn't make, and now here we are. You get Skull and Bones and Hyperscape and X-Defiant and God knows what else. Anyway, also in Ubisoft news, if anybody gives a shit, I really don't speak on stuff like this, but I thought it was relevant. Their shares also plunged 34% on Thursday, which is Thursday the 22nd. So with all the stuff going on, you know, maybe this is a good time to reset. I think the constant need to try to push and shoehorn into live service and make that the only focus, I think it's starting to backfire on a lot of companies. I'm not saying they did that. I'm saying a lot of companies, it's like, we can't do our great single player and our great multiplayer. So a lot of companies are looking, they're saying, well, let's just put more resources into the live service, you know, and then both of those things end up being impacted in the end. It ain't Ninja Turtles, that's ass. I ain't gonna lie, they need to stop that fuck shit. Go back to what you know, okay? You could do the multiplayer, but damn, don't forget about us. But y'all could do this, but y'all making TV shows and shit and mobile games. Positive Ubisoft news. Ubisoft keeps Far Cry 3, Far Cry Blood Dragon, and Far Cry Primal alive with a 60 FPS patch. So they're still saying current gen. PlayStation. Sorry. The terminology, I don't know if it's shifted yet. Because current gen was PS4. Is it now last gen? Have we officially made it to where current gen is PS5, Xbox Series X, Switch 2, and PS4, Xbox One is last gen? Has the switch happened yet? Because I don't know. But anyway, there was a cryptic tweet. Far Cry tweeted these things. There were a bunch of emojis, but they did later clarify that this does mean that there's a 60 FPS current gen console. And if we're still calling something from last generation current gen, this is what I'm saying. Game is confusing. I blame the Xbox One. Moving on. I didn't even know this was happening. Ryan Hurst has been cast as Kratos in Amazon Prime Video's God of War live action. I thought they were making an anime or animated series of some kind, but I didn't know it was live action. So Ryan Hurst has been in Sons of Anarchy, The Abandons, and he's been officially cast as Kratos. This is through Sony Pictures, of course, and Amazon MGM Studios. They are officially on for 2 seasons. This is going to follow the reboot story with Atreus from the beginning of, at least from what we've learned from our experience from God of War 2018 is what it looks like. Thoughts? Question for y'all. If y'all could have fan cast somebody as Kratos, who would you pick? I think once they get his like makeup and everything going, I could see it. I see it. As far as the look, I think he got it. Moving on. So keep in mind, also, y'all probably looking for Forza and Fable news. I am going to do a reaction to the Xbox developer conference, actually when I'm done with this. So that'll be its own video. I'm gonna do reactions to that. I've also done a reaction to Resident Evil Requiem gameplay and Life is Strange as well. So those won't be in this news segment. Anyway, Resident Evil, during that reveal, they showed some gameplay, let us know a lot about the new mechanics and stuff like that. They had some stealth and things like that. You should be able to see that whenever you watch that reveal when I post it. But at some point during the reveal, Capcom said, fuck it, we ball. And they just started putting ads on it. Hey, they had a Porsche or something on the screen, bro. That was, there was a collaboration with that. And then I think Leon has that car he's driving in the game. And then they also advertised that they got a $2,000+ watch that you could get. That's in, it's a collaboration with Hamilton, the watch company, and Capcom / Resident Evil. Only 2,000 in the world will be made. One is $14.75 for Grace, that's the new character, and the other one is $21.75 for Leon. I'm sorry I told y'all this was, I just thought this was ridiculous. All right. What did I just say about, like, I know collaborations have existed, but like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. They made these like collaborations like a quite. It was a sizable part of the reveal. Who can? I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. Whatever happened to just having like collector's editions of games that came with like books and art and little figurines and shit? Now we got $2,000 watches. Fuck. Moving on. Marathon. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Marathon. First of all, it was delayed indefinitely. I think back in 2025. Initially, when they revealed it, I was like, man, I don't think this game's really going to go anywhere at that time, considering what they showed and where we were. Now we have some more information about it. First of all, they're going to have an open test. So Bungie's going to have an open test for people to check Marathon out before launch. And it's only going to be $40. Now, this could be a Mafia of the Old Country situation where you play the game and you're like, okay, well, no wonder it wasn't a full price game. But $40 in an industry where we pay 70 plus is a W, because it'll get you in the door cheaper. And I will say, for me, games, I like to compare games against their price when I talk about it. So if you pop up in this bitch, your game is 70, we're going to compare you to other 70-inch. So $70 titles, you gonna compete with other $70 titles. I don't care how many devs you had. I don't care how long it took to make the game. That's not my problem. I'm gonna compare you to what my output was. So you have a game that's 40, all right, maybe I can temper my expectations, they say. So officially, here we go. This has been confirmed on their social media. We'll have an open preview weekend before launch, and everyone will be able to try Marathon out, which Marathon comes out, according to this, on March 5th. Like I said, at $40. It says here, this is interesting, that pre-orders alone have pushed Marathon into Steam's bestseller list, so there are signs of momentum at launch. I will say, I do think that Marathon now is in a better position for people to give it a chance than it was when they launched it, and even as late as last spring. I think, again, I said this before, I think Arc Raiders has really opened up a door for the industry to try to, you know, they always kind of copy, and you know, Souls games and the extraction shooters are what's kind of, I feel, is going to start getting copied. So we'll see what Call of Duty does. That'll really tell us where the industry is if the next Call of Duty really focuses on their extraction mode. So I think now with this, the Division 3, and I think Marathon might have a better chance of having a player base, but seeing this on the Steam bestseller list is a pretty good sign. So I'm thinking that, matter of fact, I think I highlighted it. Maybe I did not. I did not. So I don't know all the platforms this game is releasing for. They did mention Steam, so that's kind of a big deal. So Marathon, what do y'all think? Are y'all gonna try that? I haven't joined the extraction shooter wave. I've not even played Arc Raiders yet. I didn't play, I can't even remember some of the other games. There was that game called The Day After that Ricky got scammed on. Sorry, Ricky. Oh, here we go. This is hilarious. Cory in the House for the Nintendo DS is costing upwards of $399. It's just like, yo, the internet is a funny place. For all the bullshit that go on, every once in a while, the internet does something that makes me laugh. Look at these prices right here. Look at this. Do y'all know the user score for Cory in the House on Metacritic is the second highest or the third highest in gaming history? They're trolling, bro. It has surpassed the first Last of Us, The Witcher 3, Resident Evil 4. The only game higher than this right now, I believe, is Expedition 33. Oh no, it's number 2. Expedition 33 is the highest user rating for a game ever on Metacritic. Cory in the House is now number 2. Goat shit. Look at all these, bro. $399.97. People are buying this. I might have to play this for a YouTube video. The game is garbage, actually. IGN rated it as awful and gave it a 3 out of 10. But who cares what they said? The internet feels as if this is 9.6. Yes, 9.3 user score. And it's higher than Baldur's Gate 3 and Half-Life. I have never even seen this gameplay. This is hilarious. This is the type of shit y'all doing with y'all free time. Is y'all bumping up Cory in the house? Anyway, moving on to really the last two pieces of news, which isn't much. A little shorter episode this week. They revealed Highguard at the Game Awards, I believe. We reacted to the Game Awards live. When it was going on last month in December, and we seen this game called Highguard. And sometimes I feel like we as gamers have to differentiate between games that look good and the games that might not look great, but they actually play very well, right? So like for me, like watching like League of Legends and Minecraft and even Death Stranding, like looking at those games, I'm like, this shit looks garbage, man. But like once you start playing them and you see how the community is and all that stuff, you realize the game is much more than it seems. Highguard may be one of those games, I don't know, or it could just suck ass. But it's a new FPS shooter, and it's comprised of people who were at Respawn, and these are the people that help with Titanfall and Apex Legends. So there's talent over there. We'll really kind of see what happens once the streamers start playing it on Twitch and stuff like that. But this is kind of feels like one of those games that can have like a huge competitive scene, and while a lot of like casual people that I know don't play it, it can have a huge community. Like I don't know anybody that personally plays League of Legends. I know like 2 people. I don't know anybody that plays Dota and like those games like that have these huge fan bases. So CS:GO and Valorant and all those kind of games. Like if I watch a Valorant, it doesn't look like much, but I know those games are a pretty big deal. So we'll see if this kind of can come into the fold of one of those games. You're looking at a January 26th release date, which is literally, what is that, Monday? And it's free to play. It says full free to play release, no early access here. We're looking at PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X, which is a good thing. It's not on last gen. I need y'all to come fuck with us on that PS5, man. Come on, baby, it's time. Especially now. You ain't getting no PC. You see them prices? I'm sorry. What should be a sad moment is going to turn into. We're gonna have to laugh about it to keep from crying as a community. If you waiting on PC, stop. All right, come get on that PS5, man, and get off that the PC dreams, bro. Moving on. Lastly, Code Vein 2 is releasing. I have the release date. We'll get that in just a second. But there is a character creator on PS5 that if you want to create your character now, and then when the game comes out, you can play it. Remember they did that for Saints Row. They had the whole character creation thing. They got people hyped up because you was able to do some amazing things with the creations on there. Then the game came out and it was a rim of that ass. This game actually says January 30th for Code Vein 2. Any Code Vein 2 people in the comments, let me know. Any Highguard, anybody hyped for Highguard, let me know. Because like I said, it is free to play, which will get you in the door for nothing. In the door. But y'all know free to play is really free to start, low key. They be lying. All right, lastly, here we go. Final. Just looking at the games that are supposed to be coming out for the week of January 25th through the 31st. So here until the end of the month. Have Highguard on January 26th, like I said. Nintendo Switch people, if you don't have access to the other platforms, if you're looking for cool narrative games, if you like Telltale style games, listen, this patch is one of the ones. Phenomenal. I loved it. Great game. And I don't know how much it costs. I know it's not super expensive either. And then you have, like I said, Code Vein 2 on January 30th. Guys, this is the end for the gaming news of the week. We are right around that 20-minute mark, which is where I wanted to be. Ubisoft, we love you.